Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. This is Jonas Brasco with Up the Fulham, and we have a fun one. Okay, I started off very well, and it's just I gotta move the camera. I can live with that being the only major thing I had to do today. But we do have a good one today. I hope so. Definitely 3 points would be great. We do have we are kicking with the third kit today, and believe me, they need this win. This is one Fulham definitely needs. There's no argument how important this game is. As you see, we got the lineups for both teams up. Flickers are done. And they are still showing, and unfortunately, they are still showing commercials right now. Right now, they're doing the Premier. They were doing the Premier League live on the broadcast that I'm watching. It's the NBC/US USA Network broadcast. It's not something I'm looking forward to, but I saw Fabio Cavaglio there. He's still injured. Hopefully he'll recover soon. Definitely not for this game, but still, it's always a pleasure to see that he's doing well. Fulham has made quite a few changes from the 2-0 loss to Liverpool, and it's very rare that I say this, but I am actually all about the changes that they did make. Haven't spoke to you Christmas. Tried to get when you tried the Guinness Punch. How have you been? Outside of our record, And okay, okay, yeah, I was about to say Liverpool. Brentford was about to get a corner very, very early, and this is seriously like not even 20 seconds into the game. Your scoreline currently says, "Oh, yes, I wish that was the case, but we're not going to tempt fate there." And I apologize. That was not meant to be. Believe me, I kind of wish it was, but that's not going to be the case. I was testing it out because I had the because basically I had the green going. So let me get myself fast forwarded to where I need to be. But yes, I definitely Fulham definitely needed to make those changes. I'm happy Tom Carney's in. I'm definitely happy that Sanderberg is on the bench. Emil Smith Rosen, I can definitely I definitely can support that. Moved will be up, which is going to be good, and of course Tom Carney in the center. And I'm also glad Sasha Lukic is starting. Good God, I'm glad that Sasha Lukic is starting. I am really, really glad. Believe me, I'm really, really glad Sasha Lukic is in there. He was definitely the man of the match in the last game. But beyond that, I'm doing good. I'm hoping. Believe me, I am really, really hoping Fulham can get some much needed points out of this. Not even I'm not even just going for a win, just a good result. Even though, as stated in the description, the last three results, um Fulham won the last one 3-2. Brentford got a 3-2 win back in 2023, and then of course the game in 2024, no score, nil nil. But Iwobi has it now, and I'm glad Lukic was trying to make that run, but not quite there. But I am kind of glad that Iwobi is playing more up front. It's just it was a little too ahead from Lukic, but it was a definitely a great effort, good idea. I'm just kind of sad that we weren't able to make it. But yes, Brentford's coming in seventh at 47 points. Fulham is coming in at 12th with 44 points. Six there's 6 games left. There's nothing else I can say. This is the first game, so Fulham is no pressure to actually look at the standings, looking at where everything's going. Marcus Silva, because of his appeal, is still able to actually be on the touchline. He should have been serving a touchline ban for some comments made to the refs, but Bassey's bringing it up. Smith Rowe loses it, but it is regained. And they're saying Silva wants a tigerish. I'm like, no, not tigerish. We just need a good performance. If you would have told me before the Liverpool game, I would have put Fulham in either eighth or ninth with conference. Now I know depending on what happens with Villa and possibly Forest, there may be another Champions League spot that opens up. But right now, I don't see them making Europa. I can't say. I can't even say Champions League, even though Brentford has put themselves in a good, very good position for that. But I don't. I would say if Fulham can get ninth, if Fulham can finish ninth or eighth, then I think they'll be conference. I think they can make conference, but I'm not going. I'm not going any higher than that. But I do have this right now. I do have this game at 1-1. I do have this being a draw. I don't. I mean, it's pretty. I mean, unlike the game back in September, I'm not seeing an own goal from Brentford in this one with Pinhook. But Harry Wilson scored in that game, and Iwobi scored in the 3-2 win. Sorry, 3-1 win earlier in the season at Craven Cottage. And foul by Lukic. And it's going to be an early yellow card for Sasha Lukic. Not what we wanted to see right now, but still no surprise either. And of course, see what this happens seems to happen at Igor Thiago. The pass from Jensen that went awry. And apparently the commentators are just now figuring out that Fulham and Brentford only 4 miles apart. No, and we're gonna make one quick adjustment time wise because we are slow. We are still a little behind because stream froze up on me, then started back up, and that is now about the stream. And this is the US via USA. So as much as I want YouTube to have an annual subscription. You work with what you got. I mean, I still would love for. I still want a. Again, I'd like to see this game go 2-1 Fulham, but right now I have it at 1-1. I think it's gonna be. I actually do think it's going to be Alex Iwobi who surprises. Well, not really a surprise. The big thing that really still hurts um, from both the game back at Liverpool and the game we had at the cottage is that there is no Kenny Tete. And of course, I'm Igor Thiago. I expect him to get one. And once again, Brentford does get a corner. And just like that, Brentford has got 2 corners in this game. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a third kit or anything green really, so that's why you haven't seen anything of that. Into the box, and no, it was not, but well defended by Thiago. And yeah, Thiago, like, yeah, he was open. Header. Yeah, Anderson is like on his back. I'm still kind of surprised that it was not a foul. But yeah, 21 goals for Thiago this season, second most. Not just that, but also the most in a single season for any Brentford player in the Premier League. Harry Wilson with the ball. Harry Wilson with a shot. It's deflected, and it's gonna go to Brentford. Yes, Harry Wilson does have a habit of scoring, but Harry Wilson does not. For some reason, Harry Wilson it's not happening inside the box. It's these always outside the box shots. A great job by Smith Rowe being able to actually get the ball to him. It looked like he was trying to shoot but Muniz got to it and just slapped it out. And just like that, it doesn't seem like it, but we're already in the 11th minute. But no, I'm not worried. One thing I don't want to see, I know they're going to focus on this because those are the stories on the Harry Wilson story, on the Ricardo Pepe story, always. Which I said until we got pen to paper, I wasn't going to give that. I wasn't going to give that any credence. I wasn't going to give that the time of day. And sure enough, that's what happened. But I will say this: the break was interesting. The teams that did make it, tough luck for Harry Wilson not being able to make it with Wales. Um, I will actually be attending a. I can say honestly, I will be attending a World Cup game. It will be one of the last group games. Sessignon trying to get a corner. Brentford's able to keep it out, but only for so long. And it's going to be a goal kick for Brentford. No, Anthony Robinson is not in fit and in form. In fact, there's a reason why both Anthony Robinson and Sanderberg are both on the bench. And it gets a little bit frustrating, but that is the case. And since I haven't really talked about the bench, that is who's on there. Definitely good to see Harrison Reed back. Of course, with Harrison Reed back, someone had to be sacrificed, and that was Kawenka. So he's not in the lineup for this one. But you're going to see Lacombe, Robinson, Diop, who I was going to put as starting over Sanderberg. But since both of them are on the bench, and Sasha Lukic is in there, and Emil Smith Rowe, I'm okay. I mean, I'm okay with that, even though Brentford had gotten into the box, gotten out by Smith Rowe, which I will admit, Smith Rowe is a better defender, not than Sanderberg, but as far as someone you need to go up front. And I will admit, this game has been scrappy. Definitely, no one with any real clear. Well, actually, I can't say clear advantage. If I was picking someone in these first 15 minutes, then I'm definitely picking Brentford. Thiago with the ball. Thiago into the box. Well defended. Fulham's able to get it back. Yeah, Timothy Castagna. I think that's your big thing. Since there's no Kenny Tete in this game, you gotta find you gotta find some way um, to get the ball forward. Castagna is not going to be able to bring the ball forward. Castagna is a more focused defender. So do not expect anything. I mean, it's sad saying this, but don't expect Castagna to be bringing the ball up from the right side. That's just not his role. But at the same time, Jensen gets it into the box, was trying to find. Looks like it was trying to find Dango, but it was not the case. But Thiago is definitely, yeah, great defending by, of course, Castagna. Kicks it off it goes off the knee. But that's why it's there. I'm okay with Castagna just holding it off and kind of make it happen. But Brentford still with the ball. They've definitely controlled the possession game. And yeah, Brentford's 2 shots, Fulham 1 shot. We are, but neither team with a shot on goal. But yeah, it's been in the Fulham and the Brentford hat. Kearney trying to get Harry Wilson. Harry Wilson is on that right side, rushing towards the middle. He needed to kick it back to Muniz. It's a little too late. Tom Carney tried to get to it, but Brentford gets the ball back. Sasha Lukic needs to be careful. Fulham is one of those teams that very rarely gets red cards. Awobi with the foul. Shot it. Yes. I mean, Awobi. I mean, no, that's Bassi. Bassi. I don't even know if I would really call that a foul. It seemed more look like a little bit of a tangle, but I digress. That's why I don't get paid the big bucks. But neither team with the shot on goal. But yeah, it's been in the phone. All right, and just checking making sure my audio was good there. But in the meantime, Dango shoots. Not really an issue for Leno. It was just pretty much straight to him, a little low, but nothing to actually challenge the keeper. Oh, I did not mean for that to go off. Just making a quick adjustment. Get a little bit more light on the face. But you can just see Brentford can actually Brentford can run the break, slow it down a little bit. Fulham does the same. Fulham does the same thing, but when Fulham gets into the box, it's great. When Fulham is not able to get into the box, it is very frustrating to watch. And of course, they're all talking about like we don't know how many teams, and that is true. And that's going to be an interesting match. They're talking about the Europa League semis with Aston Villa and Forest, which of course you want. Of course, if we're trying to get into Europe, you want Forest to win that. So when people are saying, where do I think Fulham can finish? It's gonna be I couldn't see him going any higher than eighth or ninth with how they're playing now. And with the games that are coming up, the big thing is how many points. And I think for Fulham to make Europe, they need at least 12 points. And I'm not quite sure outside of this game and maybe the Wolves game if we can get 12 points. But it got to start here. And it does go off on Bassi, and it's going to be a throw in for Brentford. And they've already said that Fulham, and they're now pointing out the one thing that we already know: Fulham is not a great away team. They've won double the amount of points from Craven Cottage versus their time at home. Oh, telegraph. Yeah, they use the word telegraph. And I don't think anyone is going to argue with that. I wish I could say differently, but no, they definitely do telegraph themselves. But Shada has it for Brentford. Brentford, again, in that Fulham half, the possession game has not been The possession game has just not been great for Fulham. And not a foul. Oh, they're going to call it a foul on Bassey, but still, Brentford, they're going to play advantage. Into the box, Leno punches it out. Smith Rowe kicks it out, but only to about a third of the pitch, where Brentford still maintains possession. Jensen and bumped out by Anderson, and it is going to be finally a goal kick for Fulham. I'm sorry. Just a little bit of a reprieve. I mean, it's been, yeah, Fulham has really been forced to play out the back. Fulham is not a fast break team. Beniz is able to get it back to Smith Rowe. Carney straight in the middle. Muniz up front. Sessegnon on the left side. Lukic with the ball now. Lukic needs to be careful. A bit of and Brentford was. I mean, Brentford has had the ball. Brentford has definitely been trying to push up further. Fulham has nothing with that. When they were able to get the ball to Sessegnon earlier in the game, that's when they were probably the most threatening. And of course, Castagna is staying hard back on that right side. Smith Rowe has had to kind of come over more or less for support instead of bringing the ball forward himself. And they're pointing out, yes, Tete, this is his third straight game missed with a foot injury. Right now, they have him ETA back at the end of the month. Hopefully, that is going to be the case. Some sort of creative spark is definitely not there. I mean, it's yeah. Sorry, I was chilling on the bench there. We'll get that regular lineup back up. As you see, slightly different today as Fulham is in their green kits. Brentford, just so we can get them an idea, they are at Man U versus West Ham and then at Man City. So there's a good chance for Brentford to drop points. It's going to be in those three games. But it does go off Collins. Nathan Collins has the armband for Brentford, while Tom Carney has the armband for Fulham. Normally it would be Joaquin Anderson, but because Carney's on the field, Carney gets the headband. Armband. Over the top. No flick. Dango had a chance at that, but it is going to be an offsides on Brentford. The game, yeah, he's off. Yeah, Dango's offsides. And as always, I'll put this on the screen so we can, because we had some issues with this last time. I really like to believe I have some of the best people in the chat and the audience, and I try not to put my chat under like you have to be a subscriber or anything like that. It's like, hey, if you're here to support Fulham, great. If you're here to support Brentford, great. If you're neutral and you just this is the first game of the day, welcome. Just be respectful. And yeah, Fulham had the record with 54 points last season, and they definitely can break it. And in fact, I think they have to in order to even get into Europe. Again, this is why I said like 12 points. Cicero gets it out. Here, Wilson into the box, and Fulham finds a way to get a corner. Yeah, and Harry Wilson, as much as everyone loves him, and I'm glad he's scoring goals, it has definitely been a more one-dimensional um, aspect to his game at this time. Bring the ball up, shoot outside the box, but he's also at the same time is probably our best corner taker, which he is about to do now. He's trying to find Muniz, it just didn't even make it that far. And now Brentford with the ball, sent back by Sessegnon. They slow it down just to have a little bit of possession. Bassey gets it to Carney. Carney's in the middle. No, not Carney. Sorry, Sasha Lukic. And that was the probably about the furthest you see from Castagna. Wilson, I don't know what he was trying to do there. Was he trying to find? Was he trying to find Sessegnon? Smith Rowe, Coyote trying to get past Smith Rowe. Nothing there. Now Fulham trying to make a break for it. Iwobi going off that left side. Smith Rowe was just outside the box. Nothing happening, so it goes back to Sessegnon, back to Carney, and just like that, Fulham is going backwards. But they're like, okay, let's have a spell of possession. But Brentford definitely has people back. Tom Carney finds Iwobi. Iwobi's onside in the box. Out to Sessegnon. Sessegnon with a shot for that corner. And it's going to be a corner for Fulham. I mean, Keller, yeah, it looked like he wanted to catch the ball, couldn't get to it, just, you know, slapped it out just to be safe. Fulham gets another corner. And this is going to be interesting. This is Lukic back there. Wilson still with it. Going back post, Smith Rowe's able to get to it, but well defended in the box. Smith Rowe finds Iwobi. Iwobi, lots of space. Anderson tried to get to it. Fulham having a bit more possession in their half, which is good. It's going to go out. Yeah. You're showing the replay. The line. We're not going to. Again, we don't see much of Castagna. So if you don't hear me talk about him, there's a reason why. I mean, it really is. He's only going to. Castagna is only going to have the ball, but really more or less from a defensive position. Trying to get a. Again, working a Wilby on that left side. That seems to be the thing. Sessegnon's in the box. Sessegnon trying to find some space, but they went straight towards the middle. They really couldn't make anything happen from the left hand. Bassey and Bassey needs to relax. They were thinking the ball was going out on Brentford, but that's not the case, and it's going to be a throw in for Brentford. Yeah, Amsgar and Yeah, that's off. Damsgaard, that is definitely off of Brentford, but does not matter. Coyote with the throw in. Sessignon tried to get to it, and there is a foul. It's Thiago and Joaquim Anderson. He's really trying to get them both to get up. We're gonna see because Sessignon does gets it in. Both Bassi and Thiago. There's definitely some holding there, and then when they go up for the ball, Thiago very awkward falls onto Anderson, and Anderson's up and moving. I mean, and of course, it is a foul, so it's going to be. They're saying Thiago's leading with fouls committed. Usually, I would think that'd be I would think that'd be Polina, but fortunately, Polina has been out for a few games for Tottenham, or better yet, Tottenham has been out for Tottenham. They will play later today, but then again, everyone will be playing later today. We really haven't been looking much at this. Carney into the box, and Sessignon just put way too much on it. It was it was actually very well done. Carney slips it in. He got it in. Sessignon really didn't. Yeah, he didn't have a chance to settle and just booted it. Silva knows. Fulham knows. Sessignon knows. No score. And they're saying Fulham's four goals scored in the first half of the calendar year, the fewest in the Premier League. And of course, two of those goals happened within the first 10 minutes at Tottenham. No. And Brentford boots it long. It goes out, and it's going to be a throw in for Fulham. This game has kind of slowed down a little bit. They're both kind of getting into the game, but neither neither team has been extremely threatening. Fulham, again, that effort by Sessegnon was probably the closest thing, but neither keeper has really been challenged. No one has really been like cracked a shot on frame. Sessegnon was trying to get it, Carney. Awobi does have, but he has to track back, gets it back to Bassi. Bassi finds Anderson. And if you notice, Castagna is they're not giving the ball to Castagna except extremely necessary. Like now. Now to Bassi bring the ball up, going to that left side, finds Awobi. Bassi's now ahead of him. To Sessegnon, they wanted him to shoot. Awobi goes off a Brentford defender. Smith Rowe. Tom Carney with it. Harry Wilson, anytime he get the ball, it's going to be a lot of boos. So if you're watching this and you hear about a bunch of boos, odds are Harry Wilson has the ball. But right now, no Fulham player has the ball. Brentford, it's a bit sloppy. Fulham is actually taking over on possession with 60 to 40%. But Brentford, Coyote trying to find Qatar, Dango into the box. Fulham defends it, and Iwobi has it again. But the Brentford players still pressing a little bit. They're not trying. They're not tracking back to defend. Good job by Sessegnon finding Sasha Lukic. Lukic with the run, getting it out to Iwobi. Iwobi is being marked. Back to Lukic. Harry Wilson in the middle was trying to get to Muniz. Muniz was a little slow on the ball there, and as a result, Brentford just sends it back into the Fulham end. And there's some "Come on Fulham" chants. No, that's not Fulham. It's "Come on Brentford." Yeah, I may be a Fulham supporter, but I'm not that partial to pretend like every chant is a Fulham chant. No, this is a Brentford game. The home team will definitely, if nothing else, they let them know, and it's going to be a foul on Lukic, and Lukic has to be very, very careful here. And I would not be surprised if Lukic is the first person who leaves at halftime. The last thing, the last thing Fulham needs is to go down to 10 men. I mean, if we're struggling to score with 11, it's definitely going to be harder to score with 10. So they're saying that City, Brighton, Forest are the only teams that have beaten Brentford at home this year. I'm not saying that is Fulham going to be one of them. Not with the way they're playing, but at the same time, it's not like they are. I'm not going to say Fulham is doing bad, but I am going to say probably Brentford is doing worse. Leno has to come out for that to make sure that nothing happens there. Thiago was ready. I don't know if I want to say strong word. Like if you're Brentford, it's like yeah, you may not have had a great half. Not really too many shots on target, and that's going to be a foul on Quixote by Sessegnon. 38 minutes in, no score, and this is one of those where it's mid-table madness, absolutely. Mid-table mediocrity. Sorry, mediocre play, mid-tier, mid-table. You can make that argument too. Nice free kick into the box, and it's gonna be. It looks like it's gonna be a Brentford corner, and it looks like was that Castagna? Yeah, Castagna goes down, but it's Muniz who runs into him. It's pushed to the face, and it looks like it's going to be not the captain, sorry. It's Jensen with the corner. Fulham, not necessarily great at defending corners. We'll see if something happens here. It was very dangerous, but it is dealt with. Nothing going, no shots, and it's going to be a throw in for Fulham. It goes off of Jensen. For those who are watching or listening or traveling in the car, this is Jonas Braska with Up the Fulham, the only podcast the only live reaction watch along stream that is exclusively for Fulham Football Club and Fulham Football Club fans. Again, if you're a Brentford fan, welcome. If you are a neutral, welcome. But this game has gotten a little bit sloppy as of late. Fulham both with the possession and Brentford not really getting any shots on goal. And if you are looking at how this first half is gone, it probably would be neither of these teams deserve to be in Europe. And you would not be wrong. Fulham, there's a. And, oh, Muniz, Awobi holding on to the back of his hamstring there. And that does not sound. Hmm. Silva's not liking that. It would be sucky before halftime, and and there's been the waving. And speaking of retro, looks like they're going to give it to Chukwueze. So we may see Chukwueze come in. And yeah, you can see will be pulling up. And yeah, it looks like Chukwueze is going to come in. And I think yeah, and Iwobi knows his time's done. Silva getting instructions. Iwobi go just yeah, Iwobi's just going straight back to the locker room there. And so with that happening, you got Moniz, Chukwueze, Smith Rowe, Harry Wilson, Tom Carney, Sasha Lukic, Ryan Sessegnon, Calvin Bassey, Anderson, Castagna, Bert Leno, and into the box. Fulham still not able to really get anything, and it just comes out. Fulham still maintaining possession. Oh, rough, a rough jump for Smith Rowe, and is of course now a foul. Yeah, I was gonna say the refs had said, yeah, cancel each other out. Brentford with only one foul. Fulham with six. Yeah, of course there's gonna be some stoppage time because of additional. No, there is no rhyme, no reason, no rhythm to this game. Obviously, a draw wouldn't kill Fulham, but it would definitely be better than a loss. Because the other thing you got to think about, and one of the reasons Fulham is in the place that there are, is goal differential, and neither team moves the table. Both Brentford and if this ends the way it is, both Brentford and and Fulham would still be in the places that they are because of the other teams above them. It's their goal differential. Sessegnon, Tom Carney, out to Chukwueze, tried to find someone in the middle, nothing there. Thiago with a nice run. Tries to find Damsgaard. Damsgaard tries to get it in, but instead it will be a corner for Brentford. Just that nice little bit. Maybe nick something before it halftime. There's only 2 minutes of stoppage in this one. Then go into the box. Anderson kick. Man, Potter tried to. We had not heard Keem Lewis Potter at all. The Brentford will win 2-1. Right now, Brentford just needs to score one. Let's just forget about the 2-1 thing right now. And I'm talking from both sides. But I will say this, that was definitely their best chance to score this game. But Brentford is still in a good place. Really haven't been fouling. Everyone seems to really kind of still be healthy in this game. I don't imagine them going to the bench early, especially if this stays as a nil-nil game. They've done pretty well defending, but that is it for the first half here. Nothing really to talk about other than Sasha Lukic with the yellow card. It's very rare to be like that's going to be probably the most interesting thing going into the second half. It will be, you know, having that hamstring pulled up at the very end. Chukwueze with a like for like sub. I'm not so worried about. I shouldn't say I'm not so worried about Iwobi, but in a lot of ways I'm not. I think that I think considering everything that we have seen in this game so far, it literally is the least of Fulham's problems. There's a lot more that they're going to have to do. Try to open the try to open. There was a moment where it seemed like they had actually, opened the game up, but it's like Brentford has definitely been the more threatening team, but not by much. Really, really not by much. They've had more corners. Definitely the best. Definitely the best chance of the match, and they've definitely been pressing more. But yeah, there's not much else to say. If you are a Brentford fan, where do they see them? Where do you see them in the second half? Who's going to come off the? If you're getting somebody to come in off the bench, to make something happen for Brentford, who is that going to be? Because I'll just go ahead and say this. This has not been a. I don't know who you call for this one. I don't know who you are just like. And the same thing with Fulham. So I don't think I'm getting too much on Brentford. This is like same thing with Fulham. Who's coming in the second half and making making things happen? Because it's really hard to say who I think is going to win this game, and that's why I was saying it was probably going to be a 1-1 draw. Especially now, Fulham again only 4 goals this year, this calendar year in the first half. So them not scoring is really no surprise to me. But That's the story so far. 45 down, 45 to go, no score. They've actually had the same amount of shots, but again, Fulham has had the foul. And Sasha Lukic, I'm not happy. Again, I'm not happy with that yellow. That's going to be something that we're watching in depth a lot in that first half. I mean, in the second half, Tom Carney's been pretty good with the ball. I don't imagine him going more than 60 in this game, but they may have him go. They may have to force him to go more than 60 in this game. I don't want them to, but I don't feel confident enough for anyone else to come in and possess the ball other than Harrison Reed. We know he's going to come in. We know that Raul Jimenez is going to come in. Josh King is probably going to come in. Anthony Robinson. I'm thinking long and hard about Anthony Robinson because I. It's not that he had. Okay, he had a bad game against Liverpool. Let's not even sugarcoat that. He had a bad game against Liverpool, and literally, according to FOTMob, Sessegnon is literally the the highest rated player at 7-1 in the entire game. And so yeah, I'm very hesitant to take him out. And of course, the worst player on Fulham is Rodrigo Muniz. And I think that will probably be the first substitution of the second half. Is Jimenez comes in for Muniz. Smith Rowe had a good opportunity. Sessignon had an opportunity. Tom Garney has just been good at just holding the ball. Harry Wilson has been poor. Castagna is okay. Bassey's been kind of poor. But he also has the toughest matchup in the match with trying to defend against Thiago. But we'll see if anyone in the chat has said anything else. It does not look like it. So, with that being said, start the countdown to the second half. Get some drinks, some bevs, get some snacks. If it's an early lunch, late breakfast, early dinner, etc. This one, this one's not is nothing to write home about, and there's not really any other stories going on in the league until this game's over with, because then we're gonna see, how this really goes. If you need table stories, it's pretty simple. Brentford would still be at seventh if the game ends like this, but they have that plus 4 goal differential. The thing is, Chelsea's ahead of them with a plus 12 differential, and Everton is behind them with a plus 2 differential. Everton gets Liverpool tomorrow, so that should be an interesting watch. Fulham, same deal. They're a minus 3 goal differential, but would be level on points with Bournemouth. But Bournemouth has a minus 1 goal differential. Bournemouth gets Newcastle later on today. In fact, that's actually the next game, followed by Leeds and Wolves, which will be a fun relegation battle. Newcastle is at 42. For the most part, they're 6 points ahead and not in that fight. Forest, on the meantime, they'll take on Burnley, and I think they may be able to. Nope, they don't even have to do that to put the lights out. Wolves, again with Leeds. Wolves with 17 points. They are not in 6 games to go. There's 18 at play. They are not mathematically out, but this would a loss here would make it very, very, very hard. And for those who are wondering about Spurs, they're at home, but they do get Brighton, and that will be the 12:30 Eastern Standard Time game. But I'm going to take a quick break. Music's going to be playing soon. And once again, we will see you in the second half. All right, we are back. This game, not much more to say there. Mic check. 1 2 1 2. We are listening to this one. It's still commercials. And of course, that happened. This always happens with the second half. And there's player is down. Let's see. Are we going concussion? That was Muniz, but Collins gets headed by his own guy. And we have it still man down. Interesting start to the second half. Not what we were expecting, but there's been no further changes. And now there's a clear come on Fulham chant. Like actually clear. I can hear it. It's not come on Brentford. Into the box. Sessignon had a chance. Finds Sasha Lukic and he just it goes off the side of his foot. There's no other way to say that. And yeah, Sessignon has definitely been the most threatening player so far, and would currently be the man of the match. It is a foul on Bassi. Coyote is gonna get it back. I think it's gonna be a throw. It was a run in Bassi. He's trying to get away. Bassi does step on Coyote's foot, and it's just gonna be thrown for for them. But Fulham had a chance at it. Wilson was trying to chase it down. Muniz, I think, yeah, Muniz definitely needs to be the first substitution for Fulham in this half. This has not been his game. This has not been Muniz's game, and I don't think it's going to be his game this evening. It's just, and I think he just needs to understand that the fitness isn't back. The fitness, the threats, none of that is back from last year. Smith Rowe does able to get that back, but only temporarily. Brentford, man, it is just really not quite Keystone Cops, but it's just there's no one wanting to actually keep the ball. There is no rhythm to this game. Let's just go ahead and too much for Damsgaard, and it is now. I mean, it's just Yeah, they're showing Jordan Henderson. He got knocked, and again, there were quite a few players injured. Caofiro, Fabio Carvalho, of course, Janet, Henry, and De Silva. All of them are out. While Kenny Tete, we talked about him being out a little bit earlier, and of course Kevin, which contributed a lot towards the end of Fulham when they were fighting for European spots. Unfortunately, has been injured for a while and will not return until next season. All of those have been factors. We are at 200 views already today, so thank you for that. Sessegnon trying to get it into the box, and Fulham earns a corner. It goes off of Vanderberg. Ryan Sessegnon again has definitely been the lone light spot in here. Sessegnon was trying to find someone in the box. He just was crossing it. I think he was actually going on goal because there was no one there. There was literally no one there. And it's going to be Sasha Lukic and Harry Wilson. Lukic with the corner, and it swings straight to the other side. And of course, Marco Silva. I don't really need to do my best Marco Silva impression. You already know this. And and as always, the question is can yeah, not even so much can Fulham score, but can I maintain your interest while they haven't scored? Muniz goes down, no foul, because Muniz is just not controlling it. Great tackle. I think that was no, that wasn't Lukic, but still, Sessegnon with the ball, trying to get it, trying to go off the field. Muniz and Wilson were ahead. Tom Carney back to Sessegnon. I think they're like Sessegnon's the only one they trust with the ball. Cross. It was deep by Harry Wilson, but easily beat. Anderson just heads it, and there's no Fulham player anywhere near that. Lewis Potter gets it for Brentford, and a foul by Smith Rowe. Very, very quickly taken free kick. Get some space onside. Brentford, and well defended by Sessegnon, and it's going to be a corner. And Jensen, like, that was a great free kick. Thiago was there at the bottom, and it's just well defended. Dango, Fulham with three corners. Brentford, this is going to be their sixth. I mean, the corner is important. And that's the thing. It looks like there's, like, if either team's going to score here, there's going to have to be some shenanigans. Corner, well defended. Just goes back to the third. Brentford still with possession. Potter with the cross into the box. Shot. Decent shot. Well defended by Leno. But Dango probably so far with as far as threatening the keeper, probably the best shot actually on goal. Leno doesn't really catch it. Leno just kind of slaps it to the ground and then grabs it afterwards. And that's the story. Is Fulham no shots on goal? Was trying to break out Muniz. Muniz is just not there. Smith Rowe gets to it, and it's gonna be a foul by on Smith Rowe. I mean, he. I will say this: he's not been the poorest, but still nothing done. No harm, no foul. Fulham is not heading offsides because Fulham has not been able to break on the ball to get themselves in that position. And still, Brentford's trying to slow it down. Sade trying to find someone in the box, but it is taken over by Fulham. And now Chukwueze in the middle to Tom Carney. Chukwueze being marked. Carney should have shot. Smith Rowe can't shoot. Sessignon trying to find Muniz, but it's caught by the keeper. Kelleher, no problems, caught by the keeper. And yeah, the quality is just not there. The quality is just not there from either side. Either side, both sides have had opportunities, but there's nothing making this happen. And there is a Brentford player down. It is Jensen, and all of a sudden the camera is going straight to Sasha Lukic, and it is a bump by Lukic, and we're just watching. Last thing we want is to be watching with bated breath, but that may be what's happening now. And because now there's the talk with the assistant line judge. There are people warming up. There are a lot of warm ups. See Robinson, see Oscar Bob. Just to throw it out there, this is what is on the bench, taking away from Chuck Waze, who's already in there. Raul Jimenez, Oscar Bob, Sanderberg. We better not be seeing Sanderberg. Harrison Reed, Diop, and Anthony Robinson. Of course, if anything happens to Leno, of course we got Lecomte on the bench if need be. And then 1 second, because apparently my son is calling me, and I need to make sure he doesn't do anything. Hmm. Phone's back. Mic's unmuted. 62nd minute. No score here at the community stadium. Brentford nothing. Fulham nothing. Fulham still not with a shot on. Actually, I think they may have gotten literally their first shot on goal. I just need to check to verify because I know I missed something real quick. And no, still confirmed. No shots on goal for Fulham. 6 shots, none on goal. Brentford, 6 shots, two on goal. Thiago's being marked has been marked very well by Bassi in this game. And Bassi is down courtesy of Dango. Crowd's booing, but And yeah, it's. I mean, that's the best thing I can describe this game as. Frustration. And we're really hoping that they're not. And yeah, we last thing we need is for Bassi to come off the pitch yet. He'll come off the pitch, but just not right now. And yes, they will adjust the time wasting rules next year. And Keller just grabs the ball from the goal kick. And Brenford has it again, and we will reset again. We're slowly approaching the 65th minute. There's still no score in this one. And it's hard to say that there will be a score in this one. But yeah, one goal can definitely get this game. And of course, Fallon's. Oh no, they're gonna. I was gonna say they're gonna call that offsides. That would be very weird. Great job by. Yeah, Sessignon. Sessignon's getting it up. Sessignon, a great break inside, but Brentford well defended that one. And that was a really good job by Sessignon. Bassi having to be defensive. Well done. But still nothing happening. Brentford gets the ball back, and then it's turned right back over to Fulham. And it's just sent back to Leno. And we're going to restart this all over again. And again, Fulham got a 3-2 win last year, but the year before was a 0-0 draw, and we may be heading for that again. And it looks like, okay, they're saying Josh King's going to come in, Raul Jimenez is going to come in. I'm not surprised. I think if Josh King comes in, it may be for Smith Rowe, and I think rightly so. But cross into the box. And again, another attempt on goal. Could have been a quick error. Yeah, and it's gonna be exactly what I thought. Smith Rowe into the box shot. Wow, very close, very close for Brentford. Damsgaard. Yeah, wrong King on easily, but man, Damsgaard. Nice, nice off the volley, and if he could have got more on that, I think Lena would have been beaten. I think that could have been 1-0. That was definitely Brentford's one of Brentford's best shots on opportunities. But yeah, rightly so. Jimenez and Smith Rowe are coming on, and they need to. They really needed you for this one. It just wasn't there for them to. Muniz, it wasn't there for him today. And we know that Tom Carney's going to be next. Let's. But Tom Carney did exactly what he needed to do, was just like hold the ball. But yeah, it hasn't been enough from either side. All right, it should be taken now. And it is a foul by Harry Wilson. So Fulham has already used three substitutions. Brentford hasn't made anything yet, and as the game goes on, I'm not surprised. Unless someone gets injured, I don't see Brentford starting to make any subs till maybe about the 75th or 80th minute, just to have those fresher legs later in the game. Had some tea real quick. I don't know who that is on the bench in the cream and maroon tracksuit, but they don't need to be. Collins had a great opportunity off that cross. There was no one behind him. Yeah, Bassey's beaten. Castagna nowhere near the height for that. Yeah, and they're making sure. Yeah, Fulham doesn't do clean sheets that often. West Ham and Forest, and that Forest one was also a 0-0 draw. And outside of Sessegnon, currently, yes, the best player on the pitch for Fulham is Tom Carney. But nice cross towards the back. Ding, very well done by Bassey. Gets it back out, forcing Brentford to go outside, but another cross straight into the box. Leno's going to jump and grab it. Yeah, missed the game 3.5 years. So good on him. Josh King back gets it out to Lukic. Jimenez first time with the ball goes out from Brentford. It's the captain, and right now they're showing the community stadium on the outside outskirts. I know it has an official sponsored name, but we don't do that here. And since there's not much that has been happening, we are trying our best to avoid spoilers. But here's where we're at. Please no spoilers. Please no promoting. There was someone who did politics last week that was not fun. Again, I don't like banning people from my stream if I don't have to. Not to mention, this is probably the last place you want to try to, get your political opinions across. I mean, even the commentators are now saying, there's a reason neither of these teams will be in Europe next season. And sure enough, you may be watching it, but there is some stretching happening on the Brentford side of the ball. Nice throw towards the back. Very, very dangerous foul. Josh King goes down there, but he's all right. I think that was Dams. And it's just, and yep, nothing happening there. And you have Silva just like move forward, please. Move forward, move forward. That may not be my best Marco Silva Silva impression, but if he does leave, I'm going to miss. I'm actually going to miss being going because he does make some very very good expressions. Jensen tries to cross into the box. He sees Thiago, but they try to close out Lukic. It is a Fulham had advantage. Nothing going, but Lukic now bringing the ball up. Sessegnon tried to get it to Jimenez. Both of them really slow on the ball, but it is a throw in for Fulham. I mean, good job. I mean, props for Tom Kearney being in the games. It's on. We're slowly creeping to the 75th minute. But I'm fine with Kearney coming in, giving about 80, 75, 80 minutes. I mean, it is about time for him to leave the pitch. I see Anthony Robinson. I think we're seeing Sanderberg. But I don't think they realize that only two of the subs are going to come in. Because Fulham only has two substitutes left. And there's no pinhook on this one. So don't be expecting any own goals for this one. Messing. Pinhook is on the bench. And Fulham gives up the corner. Lewis Potter has definitely been a good, good one of the very few things as far as a defender, as far as bringing up the ball that Brentford can be like, okay, he's played a good game. He hasn't gave up. Thiago, Thiago is just, I think he's just frustrated because Bassi is doing a great job of marking him and not really letting him get on the ball. I mean, when you have 21 goals and you haven't even really had a good shot on goal, that's a good day at the office for a defender. Back post header goes out. The captain will not make it happen. Collins, I mean, and the thing is, he's not. I mean, Anderson is marking him, and it is but that was really a free header. That was really a free header that just wasn't there. Jimenez, same thing. 76 minute. Brentford again, no substitutions so far in this game. I mean, and that's the thing. It's going to be a flood. If I'm expecting, it's going to be a flood of changes. Damsgaard, Brentford still with the ball. Thiago being marked very well by Bassi Sessegnon and is being forced back. And there's a foul. Nothing there. Kearney trying to find Harry Wilson. Wilson is being marked. Crowd's crying. Sorry, I wouldn't say crying, but definitely screaming. Harry Wilson just a really, really. mm, No, forget clever. It's a good kick. He's onside, but it's all okay. He kicks it off his right. He needed to get the cross. Wilson, is there? It's a dangerous challenge. It is a lunge, but it also is not. And are we going to have? Are we going to have VAR? We are not. That was a very good chance for Fulham. And I think that's the thing. If Fulham is going to score, they need to do it now because you need to go ahead and figure out and find out like who are those subs that are coming in for Brentford. You want them to come in early. You don't want them all waiting until the 90th something minute. And a great job by Thiago. And just like that, Brentford with the ball, cross into the box. Dango does Leno touch that? And now the commentators are like, yeah, that does not need to be happening like, hey, let the referees decide whether it's a card or not. You don't need to keep going over and trying to plead. It's like we can see it ourselves, and if we don't see it, and it should be a card, VAR, that's when it should come in, not the players coming in harassing the ref. Nice punch by Leno. Tracked down by Chokweze, but it does go out. Are we finally going to see some substitutions? Yes, Anthony Robinson and Oscar Bob are going to come in. Oscar Bob's going to come in for Tom Kearney. And Anthony Robinson's going to come in for Ryan Sessegnon, which I know it's a like for like substitution. I know why they're doing it, but at the same time, Sessegnon has definitely been the best player on the pitch. And now that lineup is exactly that. What you see is what you get. Fulham has used all their substitutions for this match. Now we're less than the final 10 minutes of this one. There will be some stoppage time, but there's nothing really been happening. And now this is your last lineup. It's gonna be Leno, Castagna, Anderson, Bassi, Anthony Robinson, Sasha Lukic, Oscar Bob, Harry Wilson, Joshua King, Samuel Chukwueze, and Raul Jimenez. Well, Brentford has not used any subs, so I have not actually brought up the subs because they haven't needed them. Yes, Bob was deservingly hooked at halftime. But with all these subs, it also gives that Sasha Lukic. We now have to keep Sasha Lukic is gonna have to. I don't want to say stay safe, but it's gonna be the last thing you want is him to get a red. Just to get another yellow, turns into a red, and then all of a sudden Brentford's like, okay, we're gonna bring in all five subs and just go full blitz. And yeah, they're making it just a reminder. Nothing happens. A goal would make a difference, but and it can go either way. It's like that goal differential is gonna be the big thing. And if you're still here, I really appreciate it because you're probably either a Fulham or a Brentford supporter. If you are neutral, you're basically here because I think you just there's nothing else on, and that's okay. I mean, and Lewis Potter's like has definitely been. And Brentford is definitely looks threatening. They're like might this be the moment? It's more like if anyone wants it to be the moment, it's both Brentford and the commentators. Leno punches out, it'll be another corner. And it will be another corner for Brentford. Towards the back post. That's not going to work. And just because we haven't, let's just take a look real quick at the Brentford subs. Like we just have not shown them all game because they haven't been a factor. And it still doesn't look like there's really anyone warming up. Okay, I stand corrected. I'm starting to see some movement in the back. That was right behind the coach, but this is what they have on the bench. And sure enough, Ethan Pinhook is on there. He was the one who scored the own goal in the 3-1 win Fulham had back in September, along with Harry Wilson and Alex Iwobi. And there's a push. Yeah, Villa, Arsenal tried to find some help in the box. Yeah, Thiago was going to be on the break, but nicely done coming out by Leno. Fulham now has to figure out something. Robinson, Cross was trying to find Oscar Bob on that back post, but it's easily dealt with by the Brentford's keeper. And now 80 we're now in the 87th minute. There's only Brentford fans out there. I know that I only showed it for a few seconds, but and they're saying that Brentford hasn't lost consecutive home meetings to Fulham since 1998. And that means you're talking. I want to say that was either back in the Championship or League One. If you're talking 1998 there, and this is when Fulham did have the badge that they're currently wearing right now. And yeah, it's a foul on Fulham. Please, no. Yeah, there have been plenty of stoppage. There's been plenty of free kicks. And the commentators are really like a tough watch. Yeah, no, this has been a tough watch. There's no, like they said, there's no sugarcoating this. This has been a tough watch, but this is one of the things you're used to as a Fulham fan. And I'm sure there's been matches for Brentford this year where it's like it's been the same thing. And yeah, and now it's long throw time. Coyote is going to be throwing this in. Looks like the power of. Will he summon the power of Rory Delap? Great throw! Well defended, but that was a good long throw. And now Jimenez gets to the ball. It's going over the head. Josh King was just marked too. He was marked very well. For the 5 viewers who are watching this stream, thank you very much. This is Jonas Braska with Up the Fulham. Just to make a little bit of a story here. No score. Sasha Lukic is still on the pitch with the only yellow card of the game. Fulham has used all their substitutions. Brentford has not used any. I'm wondering if, and I don't know if they. I don't think Brentford has a. And I'm just gonna check real quick, but I don't think Brentford has a midweek fixture next week. But there's going to be 6 minutes of stoppage time in this game. But it is dealt with by Fulham. Anderson loses possession. Crook. Leno. Great. Great. Save. Leno is pumped. Leno is pumped. Bassey is bumped. Pumped. That's not what I should be cheering for, but that was a great save by Leno. Turn. And Dango, great. He was right there. Leno gets the save. We've wanted him to do that so many times where it just goes off, but a great save by Leno. 6 minutes of stoppage. And Bassey's like, yeah. It's a corner. And Collins, header. And there was no one there. That goal was dead to rights. Sorry. Yeah. And it just flies over on that right side above the bar. But nice. You could see the crowd behind. Bert Leno may have just gotten man of the match status for that save. And for the Fulham and for both the Fulham and Brentford fans that are in Tampa Bay right now for Premier League mornings, I would imagine that was definitely a moment. And once again, Brentford, no substitutions. Unless they're just like we're gonna go crazy. Castagna with the throw in. He didn't see anything in the box. Kicks it back out. Anthony Robinson cross. Looks like Bassey's gonna get to it, but not far enough. And goes over the advertising board. And yeah, it's yeah, we know what it means. Not just the fact that it's a point, but like they said, Fulham does not get clean sheets. away from home that often. They've only got two this year. And they are correcting their stretched stoppage time indicator. Fulham. Bob has it. Bob passes it, gets it back, and a foul on Bob by Lewis Potter. It's gonna be a free kick. Ref is telling him to send it back a little bit. Anderson trying to find something. It's gonna be Harry Wilson and Sasha Lukic both over the ball. Jimenez looking for anything. Oscar Bob. Bob just oh man. Potter like and it just goes off Tiago. That's the thing. Potter to Tiago just is really what denies him. But 94th minute. Now 95th minute. It's a fight. Whistle goes and it's Fulham's ball. Lewis Potter. Lewis Potter's definitely the man of the match for Brentford. What makes it more frustrating is that Fulham hasn't really hadn't challenged the keeper at all in this game. And yet we're hearing the come on Fulham chants now. And that's will be it. If Fulham gets a draw out of this, it will be deserved, but not by much. And I can't exactly say excited about it because there were no shots on target. And it really does look like this game is going to go 0-0 to end. Fulham had an opportunity, and nope. We were hoping for one last. That's it. Game's over. Yeah, I mean, good game. I'm trying to say good game. The only thing is again, it's a clean sheet. Leno, great job at the end. And you can see the lines just leaving. in Tampa, and of course you're looking. And are there any Fulham? There are Fulham fans in Tampa. I've seen the pictures. I don't know why they were dressed up as Smurfs, but they were. But but yes, it looks basically everyone else seems to be a lot of Manchester United fans, a lot of Newcastle fans. This one, I mean, what do you say? This was a, not much to update. This one ends 0-0. Fulham just wasn't good enough. No, when you have no shots on goal, you're not good enough. That's just plain and simple. You had shots, but not a single one of them was on frame. It's not enough. Wilson has been very, his stuff has been very, very transparent as of late. Get the get the ball towards the center, shoot from outside the box. And right now, there's no one fast enough when the ball gets into the box to immediately shoot. Ryan Sessegnon had some opportunities. If it was not for that save by Leno, because that literally saved the game for Fulham, then yeah, um, Ryan Sessegnon would have been man of the match. For Brentford, definitely, there's going to be questions. I'm not even going to say there isn't. There is not questions, and you have 9 days. You have 9 days until you got to be. Oh no, they need a lot, and it ain't gonna happen this year. I said Fulham could not get any higher than ninth, eighth or ninth, and I can't even say that right now. Their goal differential is still at -4. Your matches do not get easier from here on out. If you're Brentford, you didn't use a single sub. You had five on the bench. And you know what? While I'm here, let's look at the Brentford bench. Real quick, let's look at the Brentford bench. You had Aaron Hickey, Pinhook, Stevenson, Azure, Bent, Shield, Reese Nelson, another former Fulham player, and Donovan. And it's just like not even not any of them got a chance in this one. And there may just be this is only the second time obviously I've seen Brentford this year. And yes, I know Pinhook had that own goal earlier in September, but I get that I get that you had to have Thiago out there. You had to have Lewis Peters out there. You had to have Coyote out there, Dango. I get that. But nothing? Like it's very rare. Like I've seen Silva do that. I've seen Scott Parker was notorious for doing that with either late or no sub games. But there are no other you're not in either cup. You're not in the FA Cup. The EFL Cup is done. That's over with. You're not playing in Europe. Like, why do you not use a single sub? And you have 9 days before you face Manchester United at Old Trafford. You have 9 days. So while there may be questions for Silva, I have more for Brentford. Like, why didn't you use a single substitution in this match? And if you notice, I'm looking for the chat because I'm hoping someone from Brentford like pops out and just say maybe it was just the injuries were too great, or maybe they just didn't want to risk anyone else being injured before the Manchester United game. But you got 9 days. I don't know what you say to that, except you got 9 days. So while yeah, there's a lack of quality from Fulham in this game with not even being able to get a shot on goal. I would be lying if I said I'm not questioning Brentford because I'm really, really questioning Brentford in this game. Now, the only thing left for Fulham is Wolves. Wolves is the only team left that is actually above, I mean, that's below Fulham in the table right now. Because their next games are going to. They're all people have. You got Villa, you got Arsenal. Bournemouth. Bournemouth is ahead of you right now. Like, that's going to be Wolves and then the last game at Newcastle. I mean, against Newcastle. It's 5 games left. The only, I think, positive thing now is like Fulham has to. I'm not even talking Europe now. I'm not even talking about Europe. Let's just throw Europe out the window right now. Because I said if you're going to make Europe, you need 12 points. There is 15 on the there's 15 on the board right now. And if you need 12, you're talking winning every single home game and one away. So we're talking beating Villa next week, and it's another 7:30 kickoff. You got beat Villa next week. You got Arsenal. Hmm, You got Arsenal home to Arsenal, which I don't think you're going to win that one. A draw. Now, if there was going to draw a game, it was not this game. This game should have been won. The Arsenal game, now a draw there would have been perfectly fine. Then you got Bournemouth, and that one's going to be at home. Again, Bournemouth's slightly ahead of the table. Then the 17th of May, you are at Wolves. You're at Molineux. And then you're going to come home to take on Newcastle on the 24th. And by that time, it may be questioning whether we still have a shot for Europe or whether we're trying to just finish the top half of the table. And I said you need 12 to make it to Europe. So they got one. So you're now talking 11 points. 11 out of 15 points in 5 games. And with where they're at now, I mean, I have to say this is a nearly impossible feat. Villa's going to try to secure. Arsenal's going to try to secure. Bournemouth, again, they're still fighting for it. The only Wolves and Newcastle are going to be the only teams that are not fighting for champions or European football next year. So all these games are going to be hard. Or actually, I can't even say that about Newcastle because Newcastle is like literally 3 points behind us with a -2 goal differential. So that game may actually come down to be very. I should say this: all these games should be very important. The Wolves game, the only reason that game may not nearly be as important is because Wolves may be already out. Wolves may already be relegated. But yeah, this one is yeah, this was there's nothing to write home about. I mean, what does everyone think? Does Fulham have a chance next week against Villa, or was this game like their last opportunity to maybe go in with some momentum, and their season is pretty much over now? I mean, I don't think it is, but again, trying to get 12 points, we got one out of this. Fulham cannot afford a draw against Villa, but they definitely cannot afford a loss. If Fulham does not get 3 points next week against Villa, then that's it. No more talk about Europe. No more talk about Harry Wilson. No more talk about Marco Silva. We are looking forward, like, we are now looking at the 2026-2027 campaign. There's nothing else that you can say about this. They have not scored, and this will be a month now. This will now be a month. They have not scored in a month. They got that 3-1 win over Burnley, and then they have not scored since. And it was good Josh King getting on the score sheet. But but that's it. Brentford, and I'm just because I'm sure there's still some Brentford fans here. Your schedule doesn't get easier. I mean, in fact, this is literally why Fulham should have jumped on with this. Because even though you got a 9-day break, I still can't believe that it's like you have 9 days and you didn't use a single sub. But you got Manchester United, you're going to Old Trafford, then you got home against West Ham, which you can make their lives even more miserable. Then you go and you're gonna have to take on Man City. Then you're at home against Crystal Palace, and then you're gonna end the season at Anfield taking on Liverpool. So both of these teams really needed this game. Brentford needed it for Champions League. Fulham needed it for Europe, and I can't see where Brentford's going to get the points either. They maybe can get the win against West Ham, and they may be able to get the win against Crystal Palace. I mean, it literally is their two final home games. That's where I think Brentford may get their points. But at the same time, I can't say after this, like the commentators, I can't see either team making Europe right now. And the only thing I can say, and I will hop on some of the other screams and stuff later, is this game suffered technical difficulties. This game was just technical difficulties. We got There's 5 games left in the season. If you're a Fulham fan, you're wondering. If you're a Brentford fan, oh, I'm sure you got some questions. I will. If I did not have places to go after this, I think I watched the Brentford press conference more than I will watch Silva. Because with Silva, it's just like we didn't pressure the ball, we didn't challenge their keeper. The passes weren't there. We were just slow, and all of that would be absolutely true. But Brentford didn't use a single sub. Like I just put the subs on the screen just to say that yes, Brentford does have subs. The bus with the subs didn't make it to the stadium, or they were kidnapped or something like that, or they were detained. But no, the subs were there. You saw them walking around. You got to see that they just didn't come in. But yeah, I don't want it. There's still 5 games left. I'm trying not to just be like, okay, what does Fulham need for next season? We know what Fulham needs for next season. When they say better wingers, absolutely. Some younger forwards that can get on the ball, absolutely. Rodrigo Muniz being done for the season, absolutely. But now, of course, I'm wondering about Alex Iwobi's hamstring. Now that's gonna be something I'm gonna be thinking about for next week. But yeah, I gotta call it. There's not much else I can really say. The score line speaks for itself. There's no point in even going over the stats. Just Fulham, no shots on goal. That's really all you need to know. Fulham, no shots on goal. Brentford, very threatening, especially in the last few minutes. Leno with a absolute great save. And yeah, that put him 8-4. 8-4, man of the match. That was really the only thing left in the match. Followed by Sessignon with a 7-3. They're going to get. I thought Lewis Potter was the best person, but Jensen was threatening, and of course, I think if it wasn't same thing, those last few moments, I don't think just Jensen would be man of the match, but that's who they have on the Brentford side. But yeah, Bert Leno, man of the match. That's where my only fantasy points are going to come from this week in this game. Um, and that'll be it. Thanks for everyone who was watching. And there, not much else to say. We'll be back on the 25th for Fulham and Aston Villa. We'll be back in our regular kits, which means the old school badge. Well, it was nice to have out for a game. We'll be returning back to the closet. Thanks again, everyone. Once again, this is Jonas Praska with Up the Fulham. Stay safe. Enjoy the games. See you next time.